LNG TV, the official media channel partner for Gastech 2021.
So, fresh from the main stage here at Gastech, FC co-founder and CEO of Syngenta joins me now. Thank you very much for coming to talk to us on LNG TV. Explain exactly what does Syngenta do?
So Syngenta is a cybersecurity company that's based in the UK. We bring together the understanding of physical, digital and the human sides of cybersecurity.
How much of a problem is cybersecurity in the energy industry?
It's the biggest problem I think you are going to face actually is in the energy industry. It's been massive now in the fintech industry, but it's now percolating through to every other sector. Cybersecurity is one of those industries that reaches across everything. It doesn't matter if you're a footballer or a hairdresser or in the gas industry or a CEO of some bank, it always touches whatever job you're doing.
And what then, from your point of view, how can you counteract it? What are you trying to work towards?
Yeah, that's the hardest bit is counteracting it. It's like you have to understand what it is, first of all, and what it means to your company as to how you're going to implement security within your company. Because what works for one company or industry will not work for another one. And understanding how it works is really important because I've seen so many companies, and I've spoken about it just on stage now, of where they try and improve cybersecurity and they actually make it worse by not understanding what it is that they're implementing.
Because it is a problem within the gas industry, because earlier this year in the US there was a pipeline that was hacked and they were trying to get a ransom for turning the gas off effectively.
Exactly.
What have you learned by being here at Gastech? What are you trying to advise these companies?
So what we're trying to advise is, cybersecurity isn't just the digital ones and zeros. It does start to affect physical life. And it's becoming more of a problem as we get more centralized and more computer driven. So, back in the day when you had hand valves for turning off gas pipes, that was very hard to hack. You had to go to a valve and turn the thing. But now some teenager in their bedroom in the other side of the planet can hack into your systems and just turn off all of the valves. So it's becoming more of an issue, I think, especially for the gas and oil industry, of the more they try and control their network with computers, it becomes more vulnerable to that type of attack.
And is it the responsibility of companies to protect themselves, or do you see that this should be a global government issue to try and counteract?
It's kind of a combination of both. So it's government needs to legislate what you have to do. Companies have to do what they can in order to protect their own companies. But it goes down a little bit further to every individual within that company has to understand that security is part of their job. Whether or not it's in the job description or not, it's part of their job to make sure that the company that they work for is being secure and they're doing things in a secure manner.
And I guess with everyone working from home in the last 18 months, has that meant that obviously security has been...
it's chucked out the window.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. With more people working from home, it's seen this mixed environment where the IT company that thought, or the IT group in the company thought that they had everything under control in one sort of little environment, has now suddenly got to deal with people in their own homes and trying to advise them how to work outside of the company. So it's been a massive learning lesson for a lot of companies, and moving a lot of infrastructure from outside the company into the cloud, like AWS and Google, etc. It's been a learning curve for a lot of companies, and we've been incredibly busy trying to help them become more secure.
And you work across many different industries.
Yeah.
How do you feel that the gas industry or the energy sector in particular, how receptive are they to being aware of cybersecurity?
Yeah, they're actually really good. Maybe 10 years ago, less than that, I was working for some clients that had a gas network, and we were able to compromise their entire gas network and shut down gas and oil for that entire country in 21 seconds it took. So at the time they were very reticent to try and do anything to fix it. They basically said it's going to cost too much, go away. Nowadays, even walking around Gastech today, you can see they're a lot more receptive to like, okay, how can we protect this? Because it's part of the critical national infrastructure, we need to protect it a little bit better. And yeah, it's been a learning curve, but I think we're here now where they're a lot more receptive to that type of thing.
Because you do go by the term ethical hacker. So
Yes.
what you'll say to a company, look, I can get into your systems, I can stop these gas pipes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the good guy, so
exactly.
you need to stop the bad guys getting in.
Yeah, and that's the point of our role as a company, is to point out all of the flaws in your security so that you can fix them before someone bad comes along and does something that you cannot fix. It'll be terrible for you. So we're kind of a preventative measure, and that is always way cheaper than trying to fix everything. Like the pipeline in America, if they'd have spent a couple of £1,000s maybe on some testing, they wouldn't have had the millions of ransomware. So it's a balance, but the sooner you get security involved, the much cheaper it becomes.
Obviously, you're working with the IT departments of many big multinational companies, but from a layman's point of view, you're sitting there on your laptop at home. What are sort of some of the key points that everyone should be aware of?
Yeah, so I think there's a good couple of bits of advice for the layperson to help protect themselves. There's definitely more than 3. So first is, don't use free Wi-Fi, right? Ever, right? If it's free, it can be taken over very easily. So never use Wi-Fi that you don't know about. So don't go into a cafe and use their free Wi-Fi unless you're using a VPN. But even then, that's not the best. So stay away from free Wi-Fi, right? Even paid Wi-Fi in hotels can be a little bit compromised. So stay away from Wi-Fi if you can. Secondly, go and find a password manager. So this is a way of managing all of your passwords for all of your accounts. And it sounds counterintuitive that you'd put all of your passwords for everything in one piece of software, but that is less likely to get attacked and hacked than you trying to create new passwords for this site and this site. You'll reuse them. Humans are terrible at passwords. They really are. Computers are much better. So using a password manager, it generates them. You never see what they are. I don't know what 50 of my passwords are because I never see them. It was generated by a computer, and I just remember that one for getting into the password manager. So that's probably the second biggest tip. Third one is just get some awareness. Just do some Googling on YouTube or whatever. Find some ideas of how people can be attacked. Look at the news stories of how they got in. And it's generally clicking on something that you shouldn't have done, getting an invite to something, understanding that what you're posting on social media can be used against you. I mean, I'm on social media a lot, but I very carefully look at what I'm about to put out, whether or not it can be used against me. So you'll never find a photo of like the outside of my house, for example, right? Because I don't want people to know that I'm here in Dubai, not at my house. So just being aware of what you're putting out can be used against you.
It's very valuable advice. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us here on LNG TV. Enjoy the rest of Gastech, and good luck with trying to help change the industry and make it a safer place for everybody.
Thank you very much for having me.